so grateful that I can be who I am and not be afraid of it through my music, through the art that I do, and share that with others, and also share the fact that if you have something to say, no matter how you say it, it is important, and nobody should have to shut you up because of it. I'm gonna make myself clear. This work is for the people. The struggle, the pain, the agony, the tyranny, the strength, the praise, the love, the hate that comes from being who we are. They try to silence us by putting us under. Not anymore. Now it's my turn to speak. My name is Morgan-Paige Melbourne. I primarily just go by Morgan-Paige. I am an interdisciplinary artist, so my main focus is composition, piano, and singing primarily, but I like to dabble in various other art forms as well.
I have a child whose name is Morgan-Paige Melbourne. I tell you, this kid, from she was in my tummy, did a whole bunch of stuff to me. Every night I was on stage singing with her in my tummy, she would kick, so I would have to sit on my husband's bass amp just so I could continue to sing while the pain of her kicking continued. At the age of 3, I can remember her writing songs. She would just sing the lyrics out as she's writing these songs. And I'm like, I told my husband, I said, Howard, this kid is writing songs. He says, no. Yes, she was. So I had to record her one day. I don't know where those recordings went, but that was the beginning for me with her musical journey. And being, familiar with the Suzuki program with my other child, we decided to look for a Suzuki piano teacher for Morgan. Well, we found one, an amazing teacher, and she trained her how to relax and how to read properly without just trying to figure out things with her ear, put her in competitions, and from then the journey began.
I started taking writing seriously when I was 13. At the time, I really just used the piano and the guitar for the most part. And I kind of just mainly did it for myself. At that time, I was really going through a lot of depression from various things. And I wasn't diagnosed with depression until I was 16, 17. But because basically from age 9, from like a lot of things that was going on. I had like suicidal thoughts since I was 9, and it's like, what kid has suicidal thoughts since 9? And for years, my dad never really quite understood that, and always made fun of me for that, and always thought that I was just seeking attention or whatever. So once I reached my double digits, I was pretty much just mute for the most part, didn't really talk to anybody about anything. At the time when my dad wanted to help me record some stuff, he was really changing my voice in a way that I did not want it to be. And it wasn't who I was at all. It was like changing from the emotional wreck that I was, turning it into bubblegum pop. And it's like not exactly what I was aiming for. So, and that really felt like my emotions and what I was going through wasn't valid. And that was piled up on top of a lot of other things going on. So there was a period where I did stop writing because it didn't feel right. And with everything that happened, it felt like my voice was just shut off. So honestly, it wasn't until when I took that year off from competitions and moved to Toronto, moved out the house, took a year break away from doing nothing. And then with my dad passing away, that honestly gave me the freedom and the mental freedom to do what it is that I bloody wanted to do. And nobody could tell me otherwise, because I was done of being shut up. I was done of not being able to speak my mind and not stand up for myself. I was done with feeling so fucking scared all the time. I wanted to be me. I wanted to be unapologetically myself. And part of that was moving out. Part of that was my dad's death. Like, I do love him to bits. Don't get me wrong. I love him to bits, but it gave me that extra freedom that I needed. And so now I am so grateful that I can be who I am and not be afraid of it through my music, through the art that I do, and share that with others, and also share the fact that if you have something to say, no matter how you say it, it is important. And nobody should have to shut you up because of it. I've been diving into a lot of digital media or digital forms for music consumption, which has been really cool. So I've had a couple performances at Kerner Hall that were all live streamed during the pandemic. And I've been a part of their 21C Music Festival, which is primarily a music festival celebrating contemporary and new music by Canadian composers or performed by Canadian artists. And there's also visiting artists as well. So I'm so immensely grateful to have been a part of that. I have written for short films that have won awards at film festivals, including one of my own that I collaborated with Tapestry Opera and Rock Bottom Movement for, and that itself won an award too, which is really cool.
What was that one about?
So it was kind of like a little bit of a highlight of my mental health journey, and since it was in the middle of the pandemic, it was kind of just went parallel with trying to find yourself and how the world is in the moment. And so even though you can't exactly find that perfect joy at the end, you know that there's a little glimpse of hope towards the end of it. So that's kind of the gist of it. And for that team, we had an incredible dancer from Rock Bottom Movement named Natasha, and her choreographer Alyssa, who I've worked with on other projects where we had other short films as well. I was invited to participate in a workshop through the Music Gallery of how to learn photogrammetry and implement that with VR, and how that can be another form of bringing music into another space. And it's like, whoa, okay, I didn't even realize that. So now that's literally all I do on top of everything. And so from that, I was invited to create a sound art installation at the Museum of Contemporary Art here in Toronto. And that was up for a month and a bit, and they still have the VR room that goes with it available on their website as well. So we start on A, so we're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3. Okay? So we're going to turn on D.
How do you feel now that you're in a position where you're able to help these kids on their musical journey, and just knowing the musical journey that you've been through, how do you feel being able to like give back to them and just and to just help? Because you're so, I don't even know how to phrase this question, just because like I hear you when you do your lessons, and you're so great with the kids, and you're so patient and understanding and supportive with them. And I'm just wondering how you feel being able to, you know, teach and give back in that way, just knowing your journey and what you've gone through.
You know, they're just cool, man. They're just cool. And I learned so much from them too. Like, it's just inspiring all around. I mean, it's honestly an honor to teach them, because I get to see them become the people that they are, and I can see where they can go no matter what path they decide to choose. But it's honestly an honor to teach them. Like, it ain't about how I feel, but it's just so wicked seeing them grow. And it's just like, yo, you're doing that? You're doing that? It's like, and then this, it's amazing showing them how when you show them something and they're actually doing it, they're like, oh, I mean, I did that right? They actually did that? They actually heard me? Like, I'm still surprised today, because like a lot of times I always question myself whether, am I doing the right thing? Like, am I teaching the right thing? Because I'm always worried about teaching the wrong thing. But it's like, no, it's like everything. It's like a learning process for anything and everything. So it's just, it's honestly a blessing being able to teach them and see that progress. It's fun. It's fun. They're cool. They're so cool. Kids are cool, man. They're fun. I am the silence of all, calling the fall of all. I am the silence of all. Requiem.
What is Requiem for the Lost? And just, yeah, where did the inspiration come from to write that song? And right, and then we'll talk about like how did you produce it, right?
So Requiem for the Lost, when writing it, it was kind of just like, it was very much a spur in the moment thing. But as it kept going, I noticed that there was this theme of wanting to create a voice that's kind of speaks for all of those who were forced into silence and forced to not being able to say what's on their minds, especially with all of the fascism and racism that's out there, and people are not allowed to protest in a way based on who they are as people, just to have a human right to live your life as who you are. And when you protest, you get beat up and put in jail and other things. I mean, almost like always end up dead just based on the color of skin, just for wanting to just asking for, you know, a right to live, which is not right, you know. And a lot of this has been piled upon classicism, colonialism, and there's so many layers. And for me, when talking about these things, I'm not really good talking about it, you know, in like a speech or a podcast or doing these different things or like in different ways, right? So I do mine through music, which is one of the easier way for me to do that. And so Requiem is based on that. So it was definitely just like, it just hit me and I just had to write it. And so it was done within 12 hours. So this is Requiem for the Lost. It's kind of divvied up in multiple sections. So in the beginning we had like kind of like the chorus introducing it a little bit, so letting them know what's going on. So then here the section is the piano solo part. So it's basically meant for piano and string orchestra, which is written out. So technically it can actually be played by a soloist and an orchestra with it as well. This entire piece can actually be done with orchestra as well as electronics too. So this is the first part of it where it's just instrumental, and then the second part is going to be coming in around after this section here. So there is 52 tracks that involves string instruments, percussion, then you have choir, vocals on top of it as well, so there's multiple layers. It has, going through it, there are at least 3 contrasting melodies that goes against it to kind of give that little bit of an uneasy feel to some sections to really help propel the music forward. Yes, so it's kind of like a combination of things.
So, which instruments did you use in it? Like, how did you record it? I know you like to make your own beats and some of your own sounds. Can you just talk about how you made some of those sounds, created some of those sounds?
Yeah, so most part, when it came down to more of the percussive stuff, I actually used the piano at my mom's place. So, because my grand piano was there. So I used the body of the piano to do that. So I used that as like the drum on the lid. And then I kind of did some scratching noises as well. And there's clapping in there. So body percussion, so using the hands and then like the chest and kind of vibing between there. And also using my mouth as well for some of these. Disc is too slow or system overload. Okay, well. Oh, I think it's probably just this. It's just it. So I also, in this section here, I used what's called a prepared piano. So it's kind of, I put a towel inside the piano on the strings, and then I pressed my hand on top of it to kind of give it that tightened sound, so the hammers can't quite let the strings resonate very well. So it kind of has like this prick sound to it. And then I just did the octaves to it to kind of like let it go and let it do its own thing. And so to make sure that the sound of the drumming on the piano lid comes through, I just amplified the space a little bit and changed the instrumentation on it. So I was able to kind of switch to like make it sound like bongos a little bit and kind of tweaked it so it can have more of an air around it. And then I added bass on top of that as well, mainly particularly for the section. And then all of the vocalizations just help fill in the gaps that go in, and so everything comes in a little bit layered a little bit over and over again, and then it kind of just coax the area for it. And on top of that, I use the synthesizer that I have there to kind of fill in other sections that I needed that I don't have instruments for. So yes, I do hope to have this room filled with instruments so it's a little easier to find it. But yeah, just using what we got. Make do with what you got.
Very cool. What's your favorite part of this song?
Anything that has to do with harmonies. So it's actually down here. Because it's all a cappella, and it's so spooky. Because it's like, it just stops and it makes you think and ponder about things.
my favorite part. It's like no instruments, it's just voices, just layers, and it was fun to do. Of course, no planning as to what notes I want to use. It's just let's just try it. Let's see how it sounds. Okay, it works. So no planning, just going for it, just riffing off of it.
That was so cool. I had a lot of fun mixing this.
And I also apologize profusely. Oh yeah, it's not just this section down here, because it's all the way up here too. So it took Jania, 2-3 days to. I'm sorry.
It was fun. Like, I just enjoyed how many layers, 52 tracks in there. And I know for me, just mixing all of those tracks and arranging it the 360. Like, I love surround sound, so kind of giving it that panning it into the left ear, the right ear, kind of the spaces in between. It was just really, really fun to mix. So
this was a fun one.
Yeah, this was fun. I had fun with this too.
This was fun. It's so much fun. But I think also the chorus is my favorite part too. This is cool. And I think I'm gonna push ahead a little bit.
Thanks for taking us through this and giving us a little insight into your creative process.
No problem.
That's awesome.
I feel like I'm starting to look like a turtle with my hood like this. You're welcome. Glad I could be of service.